Good evening, and bloody welcome to Summer Night Murder Mystery Sinking Island, even though it's fall. So let's continue where we left off. And it was on, I think it was on the 16th floor. Jack Morn, using the photo of Walter Jones' face and Hubert Nolan's testimony, is persuaded that Jones' death was not accidental but very much criminal. Thanks to several traces and material elements left around the death of Walter Jones, he was able to determine those present on the Tortoise Belvedere on the evening of the crime: Baina, Lorenzo, and Hubert de Nolan. That night, Baina and Walter Jones fought, and Baina is in all likelihood responsible for Jones' fall onto the rocky beach. The scratches, the fingernail, and the tumultuous footprints around the Belvedere confirm to Norm this hypothesis. The arrival of the coroner's report turns everything upside down. Walter Jones was killed by a gunshot, thus Baina seems to be innocent. By comparing the compatible calibers with the bullet that killed Jones and discovering the powder traces, which show the rifle's recent use, Norm was able to establish that the crime weapon was a Blazer carbine with telescope belonging to Walter Jones' very own collection. The shot was fired from the library window, as proven by the shards of wood found on the windowsill, which came from the crime weapon. This coincides perfectly with the autopsy report, which establishes that the shot was fired from a great distance. So we managed to solve, I think it was 3 puzzle pieces in the recent 2 episodes. Now we're on the 14th floor. I am going to talk to whoever is closest. Colio is on the 20th floor. Here we go. Christina is in Suite 141, so let's go talk to her. She's in here. It seems like she's alone now in the suite. At least I think so. I don't think that I can pick anything up in here because I wasn't able to do that before. And I should guess that haven't changed. So let's go into the bedroom and talk to Christina, because she's probably still on the bed. I can look in the trash can again, but there isn't anything that I can pick up in there. In the previous in one of the previous episodes, I found 2 receipts and 2 plane tickets in the...
How do you feel, Christina?
A little better. You can come closer. I'm not contagious. Your company will do me good, you know. I feel much better all of a sudden.
I appreciate your company, Christina, but I don't mix up my work with the rest. I have to keep a cool head to think. You understand?
Oh, so she was trying to get somewhere, if you know what I mean. Nudge, nudge. So yeah, I could take a look on the suitcase, but I have already done that, so I don't think there is much point in doing so. So let's talk to Christina.
Just one question. I won't be here for long.
Okay, so let's talk to her about the letter from Walter Jones to Nolan.
If the heirs had thought of inheriting, it seems they're off to a rather rocky start. What do you think?
This man detested me, Jack. And I didn't love him either. He wanted me to leave. Marco didn't want to leave me, so Walter Jones made him pay. There, you have it all.
Okay. And let's talk to her about renunciation of placement under psychiatric supervision.
What did you get in return for rescinding that Walter Jones be put under psychiatric care?
Ask Marco. He knows better than me. It's his family's affair. You understand.
Okay. Yeah, who seems to be a good marksman? We have to find the shooter that murdered Walter Jones. And it points to Lorenzo because he was apparently competing in shooting. So yeah, let's ask her.
Do you know how to use a rifle?
No, of course not. I don't like all this stuff, Jack.
So one of my theories was that Christina were the one who shot Walter, because I think she was pretty much alone at the time when the murder was committed. And yeah, I don't know, because I don't see any kind of motive for her to, well, she might have killed Walter Jones because he didn't like her, but that is just a very simple motive, so I don't think that's the case. Who seems to be a good marksman? Let's ask her that again.
Do you know who in this tower knows how to use a gun?
No, I can't help you, Jack.
So she wasn't much help there. Who were the last people to go into the library before the murder?
Did you see anyone in the library the evening of the murder?
Oh, Jack. Marco and I were very busy. You understand what I'm trying to say,
Okay.
don't you? Our room doesn't have a view on the library, so in any case, we would not have noticed anyone there.
Okay.
Alright then. Well, just in case, let's take a look on the suitcase. And it's empty. No surprises there. Let's exit the room and go to... Maybe I should go into the bathroom. Nah, I don't think that I can find any more clues, because I have already been in the bathroom in a previous episode and I didn't find anything in there then. So I'm pretty sure that I won't find anything in there now either. So let's take a look on the characters database again and see which floor we should head up to. So she's in suite 152 on the floor above this one, so let's go there. Maybe she's with Billy. There is Billy. Yeah, he's on the heliport. Well, maybe no, she's in the garden. No, whoever was it? It was her. Yeah, she's in the kitchen. I talked to her in the previous episode. So let's not go to the 15th floor then. He's in his studio. She's in the garden. He's on the heliport. I don't remember which floor the heliport and the garden are on, but it is pretty high up. I think it's as high up as I can go with this elevator. Yeah, this is the heliport.
You can
So,
simper, my beautiful. I'm not buying into it. I know very well that you can speak. You're playing mute to soften up Lorenzo, but I'm not blind. I see that you're running after him, my poor girl. But Lorenzo only feels pity for you. Do you understand that?
okay, so
You hoped that you could hoodwink the cop, but not me. I know very well that you're the murderer, because it wasn't enough for you to push an old man in a wheelchair into the void. You had to finish him off by pulling the trigger. And now you think you can mooch off Lorenzo. You have your head in the clouds, my poor girl. You'll end up in the ditch. That's what will happen.
okay, so they don't seem to be the best of friends. Let's talk to... No, let's not.
Bitch,
Bitch
you'll
slap.
pay me back for that.
Okay, that was the slowest slap in the history of slapping. So let's talk to whatever her name is.
Excuse me, just one question. It won't be too long. Well, if you had thought you would inherit, it seems to me that this is in a little danger.
I didn't have any illusions about my grandfather for a long time, Mr. Norm. And this repugnant letter only reinforces my convictions. Walter Jones is good and proper, one of the biggest jerks I know.
Okay. Renunciation of placement under psychiatric supervision.
What did you get in return for rescinding that Walter Jones be put under psychiatric care?
Listen, Mr. Norm, I don't want to tell you tales. It was a give and take between us. My grandfather was rewriting his will in our favor, something which is utterly normal and which happens in every family in the world, I'll allow myself to remind you, in exchange for which Billy and I accepted to sign this paper. My grandfather manipulated us one more time. He took us for a big ride. In my view, we'll get nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't deserve a will, because they don't seem to be that nice people, actually. Let's talk to her about the biathlon gold medal.
So Lorenzo was formerly a biathlon champion. He hid this talent from me, you see. I suppose he didn't lose any of his qualities as a sharpshooter.
I saw Lorenzo Battiglieri use a rifle on gulls. It was a long time ago, but I don't think he has lost his dexterity, even if he is loaded with antidepressants.
A biathlon, I am not much into sport, but I think that biathlon is when you ski and there are stations where you have to shoot on targets. So he was a biathlon champion then. Who were the last people to go into the library before the murder?
Did you see anyone in the library the evening of the murder?
Why this question, Mr. Norm, since you already know? I was not in the library before or during the murder of my grandfather.
I get it.
It's good that one of us gets it, because I am really clueless at this point.
I would like to
Let's
ask
talk to
you 2 or
Baima.
3 questions. Excuse me, I am distracted. I
Or
have what I
not.
need. See you later.
Yeah, she can't talk anyways, so it wouldn't do any good, I think. So it is kinda worrying though that they are on the roof here, because one of them might push the other one down, because they don't seem to get along very well. Here are the heliport lounges. Maybe there are someone in here. Marco is on the heliport. Yeah, Hubert Noland is in the heliport lounges. We need to talk to him. I don't think anyone else is in here though. Nah. So let's talk to Hubert Noland, because he is fingerprint was on the rifle that were used in the murder. Well, it was the murder weapon. So let's talk to him about that. If we can find him, that is. Maybe I should go this way. So, where can he be? Let's go up the stairs here then, because I can't seem to find him on the lower floor there. So, is he up here perhaps? Maybe. If I go this way. Nah. He's not here, but maybe he's behind here. It says that he's in the heliport lounges, so he should be somewhere around here. There is one more place that I haven't checked, so let's go and check the other side of the lounges here, and hopefully he is somewhere around there, because it would be weird if there he is. He's hiding behind a tree or whatever. Yeah, he's slightly moving. I don't know if he's sleeping or whatever he's doing. He's in a very weird position.
What can I do for you, Inspector?
Well, he wasn't sleeping, that's for sure. Let's talk to him about the letter from Walter Jones to Nolan.
I know now that you were doing some smooth talking by letting me believe that you knew nothing about Walter Jones' plans for his estate. I don't like your making fun of me, Nolan.
I acknowledge that I didn't tell you everything that I knew about Walter's feelings for his grandchildren, or for his plans for his estate. But you should know that I never advised Walter to go in this direction. I have a certain sense of family, Inspector. This letter dates back a while. Walter was still confiding in me at that time.
Okay. Let's talk to him about the letter.
If the heirs had thought of inheriting, it seems they're off to a rather rocky start. What do you think?
I'll be frank with you, Inspector. Walter Jones was a man I esteemed and respected. But that Walter Jones of whom I speak disappeared long before his death. The truth is that he lost all sense of reality after his terrible accident. The fact of having become handicapped and nailed to his wheelchair made him paranoid and subject to monstrous bouts of rage. Walter Jones became a predator, obsessed by the idea that his own heirs wanted to deprive him of his fortune. He turned into an ogre toward his own descendants. He did all the dirty things one can imagine. He stopped short of nothing to hurt them. And his last act was to manipulate them, to stop them from putting him legally under psychiatric care, by making them believe that they'd inherit from him. I knew that no will existed in their favor, but what could I have done? You should know, Inspector, that Jones considered Sonia and Billy to be a pair of good-for-nothings. And if he believed briefly in Marco, in the end he concluded that the latter was a failure too, because he refused to break off with Christina, whom Walter believed to be an unscrupulous gold digger.
Okay. So let's talk to him about the biathlon gold medal.
So Lorenzo was formerly a biathlon champion. He hid this talent from me, you see. I suppose he didn't lose any of his qualities as a sharpshooter.
Lorenzo definitely knows how to shoot. He often borrowed a rifle from Walter. To distract himself, he enjoyed shooting gulls from the window of his studio.
That's
I
one
confess
way
that he
to
had
enjoying
developed a certain
yourself.
expertise in this activity. He claimed that the acidic excrement from these birds was likely to prematurely endanger certain ornamental sidings that decorated the summit of the tower.
Okay, so Lorenzo, as I have stated before, or as I have thought about, was very protective of his work, because he is the architect who made the tower possible. So maybe he have a motive to kill Walter Jones because of that, which I talked about in a previous episode. So let's talk to Nolan about his print on the rifle.
Explain to me why this gun has your fingerprints, Mr. Nolan.
I knew that I ought to have told you from the beginning, but I was afraid that you would suspect I was the murderer. When I saw that something was turning out badly between Baina and Walter, I took this rifle and I removed the eyepiece to observe what was going on. Now, I was more than 200 meters away, and it was thanks to this rifle scope that I could distinguish Baina, who was pushing Walter over the edge. But the idea of shooting at Walter never crossed my mind. Why would I have killed him? He who made my career and generously remunerated me for my services.
You already
That's
lied
true.
to me. Now you want me to believe that you
And
did
that's true
not
as
make
well.
use of this gun? How do you want me to believe you again, Nolan?
So, Hubert's fingerprints are on the rifle, but whoever shot the gun might have been wearing gloves. And in Christina's and Marco's apartment, in the trash can, we found a receipt for a pair of gray gloves. So that means two things. Either Hubert Nolan is the shooter, or Marco or Christina is the shooter. But I don't know yet. I don't think that Hubert Nolan is the shooter, because he was at the Tortoise Belvedere when the murder was committed. I think that Hubert was an eyewitness, wasn't he? And he saw when Walter Jones fell from the cliff, I believe. I'm not really sure, but I think that was the case. So Hubert can't have been the murderer. I think maybe it's either Marco or Christina. I don't know exactly why anyone of them would commit murder, but it points to them, or it also points to Lorenzo, because he was a great shot, and it was the shot were made in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle of the night, but pretty late, so it was dark and it was a storm going on. Plus it was a great distance. It was about 200 meters or whatever. So it have to have been a great shot in order to kill a victim over that great distance and under those circumstances. So enough about that. Let's talk to him about Sonia, that says that Nolan suggested this placement under supervision to them.
Sonia told me that you had advised her to put Walter Jones under psychiatric care?
I acknowledge this without shame, Inspector. I supported the steps taken by Walter's grandchildren in the interests of the entire Jones family. I didn't understand Walter's unjustified distrust of his grandchildren, and I feared that he was beginning to be scared. But I insist on the fact that I'm not the one who initiated the procedure. Martin was the first to contact me about this.
Okay. So let's talk to him about Sonia explains the circumstances under which she stole the items from the safe. Yeah, that's right. Hubert and Nolan stole something, which she stole the items from the safe. I think it was Hubert and Nolan who got the things out of Walter Jones' safe. Well, anyway, let's talk to him about that.
According to what Sonia Jones told me, she surprised you just when you were opening the safe with Walter Jones' key. The wise thing for you to do is to tell me everything right now.
Huh, Sonia Jones is an unscrupulous young woman with a lot of nerve. It's she who's the thief. It's she who took possession of the papers that I found in the safe. For I recognize that I took the documents that were in the safe, and I'm even proud of it. I thereby obeyed the orders of Walter Jones. I had to make myself familiar with his testamentary dispositions to fulfill his last wishes. And between us, Inspector, I was more than surprised that Walter Jones had finally decided to disinherit his whole family. Yes, very surprised.
Mr. Noland, I'm starting to ask myself if, in addition to robbing corpses, you're not also guilty of your boss's murder.
I am an attorney, Inspector Norm. I know the law at least as well as you do, and I know perfectly well that you cannot accuse me of murder on the basis of a simple theft. A theft as perfectly justified as there ever was. Because after the violent death of my boss, I absolutely had to put the documents from his safe in a secure place.
Okay. Alright then. Let's talk to him about Nolan. That he says that he used the rifle to look through the telescope.
Okay, and supposing I believe you used the rifle as binoculars and not as a weapon, who could have taken the rifle after you and shot Walter Jones?
I didn't run into anyone when I left my office. I'm the only one left in the tower who has a key card to enter this office. I don't understand how Walter Jones could have been killed by this rifle. Please, believe me.
I don't think you're telling me the whole truth.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that myself, but maybe I don't remember, because I have a key card right there, which I got from, I think it was from Lorenzo that I got this key card. I'm not totally sure, but I think it was from Lorenzo after the murder had been committed, of course. And that means that Lorenzo had access to the restricted areas, and Hubert Nolan said that he was the only one who had access to it, but I believe that Lorenzo also had access to it. So most clues point towards Lorenzo at this point. Okay. Let's get out of here and go to the heliport lounge. Well, I am in the heliport lounge. Let's go to the heliport, I mean. And it's out here. Because we got some people. We got two people here to talk to. We got, I think it's Marco and Billy. I'm not totally sure though.
A question is buzzing in my head. Excuse me, I am distracted. I have what I need.
Okay.
See you later.
So that wasn't much of a question then. Let's talk to...
I'd like to chat with you for a moment. Excuse me, I am distracted. I have what I need. See you later.
Or let's not talk to him either. Okay, so let's head back inside because it's raining. It seems that the storm have faded a little though. Well, maybe not, because at the moment when I said that I saw lightning, so maybe I was wrong. Let's go up the stairs and head into the elevator so we can gain access to the top floors. Should we are on the 19th floor as of now. The 18th floor is below us, so that is the heliport lounges as well, so let's not go there. Let's go to the 20th floor. Yeah, let's go to the 20th floor. Here is that guy.
What are you doing here, Coolio? Are you waiting for Walter Jones's ghost to open the door?
Do not make fun of me, Jack Norm. Do you know how to enter?
No,
Sorry,
I
I
do
have
not.
neither the key nor the plan for entry. You know, Coolio, the cops are always the last to know.
Okay, so why do Coolio want to gain access to Walter Jones' apartment here? It's kinda strange. Let's talk to him about
Here
that.
is the man who is always seeking the truth. So speak, Jack Norm.
Or not. But let's talk to him about the cancellation before placement under psychiatric supervision.
With regard to Walter Jones, everyone plays the victim. But some people didn't refrain from trying to make him fall from his perch.
Walter Jones was not crazy. He was old, that's all.
Who seems to be a good marksman.
Do you know how to use a rifle?
No, I do not need a rifle, Jack Norm. There is nothing to hunt here. There are only gulls, and they are not good.
Who seems to be a good marksman.
Do you know who in this tower knows how to use a gun?
I saw Lorenzo shoot at the gulls. He is very good at it. He brought one down almost each time. But he is not the one who killed Walter Jones, that is for sure.
Okay, and why is that then? Who were the last people to go into the library before the murder?
Did you see anyone in the library the evening of the murder?
My cabin was very far from old Jones's library, Jack Norm. It is still today.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah. So I got some new statements there. Let's, just for the sake of it, try to open the door again.
I need a key to open that door.
And I do not have any kind of key. A small pad of paper. No, I don't have any means to open the door. So let's head up a floor and see if we can talk to Lorenzo. Isn't this the library? I think that's the library actually. Let's take a look here now. We have talked to Hubert, we tried to talk to Marco, but there wasn't anything to say, strangely enough. Well, maybe I have already talked to them down in the dining area. Baina is unable to speak, so we couldn't talk to her. Lorenzo is in his studio. Clara we have talked to, as well as Christina, as well as Coolio. And Sonia is in the garden, yeah, we talked to her. Martin is in Lorenzo's studio as well, so we should head up there. Because Billy were on the heliport and we couldn't talk to him because we have probably talked to him in an earlier episode. I think Lorenzo's studio is here. It is. He's on the top floor. So let's talk to Lorenzo and whatever the other guy's name is. Well, maybe I should listen to the radio first though, and see if there is any news in the storm and all that. So let's see. Nah, don't seem to. Well, maybe it's only static. Nah, it's only static. Okay then, let's not listen to the radio. Here are some trophies and diplomas and things. Maybe it got something to do with his biathlon skills or competition. Yeah, let's head down this way and talk to Lorenzo, because I think he's at the terminal there, as well as the other guy, whoever his name is.
Stop trying to outsmart me, Lorenzo. I know perfectly well what's going on between you both. Sonia is my wife, and I want you to leave her alone. Understand?
I find you totally ridiculous, man. And Sonia is grown up enough to know what she wants.
Apparently, you don't understand me very well, Lorenzo. You are not in a position of power. In fact, far from it. I can have you fired from your job. You'll lose everything. Sonia and everything else.
You have too much imagination, and you are crossing the line, Martin. Get out of here or I'll throttle you.
Sorry to interrupt your genial conversation, sirs.
No, it's nothing, Inspector. We're having a talk.
Yeah, you
I was
sure
just
had to
leaving.
talk. Okay. So, next I should talk to Lorenzo then about all the stuff that have come up, but I won't do that now, unfortunately, because I'm running out of time here, and it is time to end this episode. So until next time, thank you so much for watching and have a good night.